Hi, okay, so today is grocery day, so I'm ready. It's 9:30. Tip number one, you have to be full, okay? Not hungry when you go grocery shopping so that you can stick to your budget and to your list. And so tip number two is to come up with a list. Every time you do grocery shopping, you should have a list, and please stick with your list so that you can stick on your budget as well. So, but of course, you can leave some room for great finds, like there are sales and promos of items that you really use every single day. So that's a good find. You can buy it even if it's not in the list. But otherwise, follow the list and don't go shopping without the list, okay? Tip number three is you have to check your cupboard first, or your cabinet, or your ref, or wherever you put your groceries, so that you know what you need to buy. Okay, so I've already checked my cupboard here, so I already know what I need to buy. Okay, they are a bit empty, and of course I already checked my fridge. So as you can see, it's almost empty. So we need to do grocery shopping now. So let's go! Okay, so I already have my mask. Also remember, when you go grocery shopping, you have to wear your mask to be responsible, to protect yourself and protect other people too. And then of course the sanitizer or alcohol. And I also bring my umbrella. So another tip when you do grocery shopping is going to the nearest supermarket that you have. Okay, so this one here is just right outside the condo, so we're just gonna walk. It will just take us less than 5 minutes. Okay, so we're all ready. Let's go now. Okay, so we're here where we're gonna do our grocery shopping just for this week, because otherwise if we need so many items, especially the milk and the diaper for my daughter, we go, or rather my husband would go to the other store because they have more choices. Okay, so here we go. So there's not much people. We're gonna be doing this real quick as much as we can. Okay. Okay, so we're done doing our grocery shopping. So let's continue with our tips when we do grocery shopping so that we can save not just money but our time and effort. So number one, as I mentioned, you have to check your cupboard. You have to check your inventory, how much food you have in your cabinet or fridge or wherever you stock your food, so that you won't be buying things that you already have at home, and you will make use of it so that nobody gets expired and no money is wasted. So that's number one. Second is to go shopping in full stomach so that you won't be buying anything and everything that fancies you, because when you're hungry, when you do grocery shopping and you're hungry, you will definitely buy something that's not in the list. It's like just fulfilling the need for the moment. And of course, in grocery stores and in supermarkets, there are a lot of food stalls, right? So we have to avoid that by going in full stomach. So we have to be ready, okay? Choose the store that is nearest you. If you can just walk, just like what I did, that would be so much better. You'll avoid traffic, and if you're driving, then you don't need to bring your car. You save on mileage, you save on gas, and stress in looking for the parking space. So that's number three. And then number four, you have to familiarize the store, or you will have to have your store, your go-to store, okay? Because if you have a go-to supermarkets, you grocery on that supermarket on a regular basis, you familiarize the area, so you know what to get, where to get it, and that will save you so much time and energy. And at the same time, you will have to avoid staying long period inside the supermarkets, because if you stay longer, you will be spending more. Double check for prices. Okay, sometimes the price that we see in the shelf is not the price that comes out when you're in the cashier. It happened to me so many times. It continuously happens. So you just have to make sure, okay, so that you will not go out of budget. But if the difference is a small amount, then just let it go. And of course, remember to follow your budget. So when you do grocery shopping, you come up with a list. And then of course, if you're used to it already, you know the brand that you're the brand that you like for each item, and the amount, the price that goes with it. So more or less, you have a budget for your groceries. So in my case, I have around 1 to 1,000 for food budget, and then another 700 or so for Alex's needs like milk, diaper, and all that. And then of course, another tip is to schedule your grocery shopping. It is really very important, because we don't want to stay in the supermarket, of course, especially because it's pandemic. We want to limit our exposure. So do not go during rush hours, okay? And usually, or rush day, usually it's Saturday and Sunday where people go to do their grocery shopping. So if you can, then go grocery shopping on weekdays. There'll be lesser people, you spend lesser time in the cashier, because if you stay longer again in the supermarket, you'll be spending more. I guarantee that. And then of course, buy the food that you eat. Okay, sometimes we want to buy something because it's so cheap. We think that we'll be able to save, but if you're not going to eat it, if the family will not eat it, it's going to be a waste of time. I'll give you an example. I do eat tokwa. I do eat tokwa. What's tokwa in English? Tofu. Okay. I do eat tofu. I like tofu, but my husband does not want tofu, nor my daughter. So sometimes I buy too much of that tofu, because it's just 20 pesos per plate. And you get 2 big chunks of tofu for 24 pesos, around that range. But I end up throwing away because it gets spoiled easily, right? So I end up throwing some of it because I'm the only person who eats the tofu. Buy things like that, pre-cut vegetables and pre-cut fruits. You have to eat them the same day you purchase them, or the following day at the very least, okay? So next is, remember that a sale is not always a sale, or it's not saving for you. Now, if there's a sale, but if the item on sale is not of use, you don't use the brand, you don't use it on a regular basis, although it's so cheap and the discount is so big, it's not going to be a savings to you. So a sale is not a sale if you're not going to make use of that item. So I'll give you an example. If there's a sale on, for example, beer. So me and my husband, we don't drink beer. So no matter how cheap the beer would be, it will be useless for us. It's not money saving because we don't drink it. Another example would be what are other things that are usually on sale? Canned goods. So we limit our canned goods consumption. Mostly canned goods that my daughter likes, and my husband, of course. So we usually have 3 kinds of canned goods. It's usually tuna, and then sardines, mostly fish, and then of course the corned beef, because Alex loves corned beef so much. So if other canned goods are on sale, if we don't eat them, we don't buy them, no matter how cheap they are, because it's not going to be a saving for us. Okay, next is to not to buy store brands. So on the shops that in our grocery shopping, in our supermarkets of choice, they have their store brand for items like the basic. We have the eggs, sugar, oil, even laundry soap, and dishwashing liquid, rice, for example. So, for example, if you go shopping in an SM store or Save More, that's one of the stores nearby. Save More, the store brand is Bonus. For Shopwise, the store brand is Sure Buy. So supermarkets have their own store brand, and they are the cheaper version of labeled ones. And then lastly, of course, do not bring your kids. The little ones, maybe you can bring them with you if they do not know how to get items yet on the shelves by themselves. But I'm referring to kids who can get items from the shelves. And then, of course, your older kids, your spouses, do not bring them with you because they're gonna break your budget and they will not follow your list. So I'm pretty sure you've experienced this somehow at one point when you're doing grocery shopping. When you go check out, you go to the cashier, you see items that are not in your list. Okay, so it really happens. Now, what I do is, because before the pandemic, we do grocery shopping together, me, my husband, and my daughter, because nobody will watch over her. I don't have a nanny. I don't have a house help. So what I do is I give my daughter a certain amount of money, 20 or sometimes 50 pesos, and then that's all the money she can spend for whatever she likes in the supermarket. And because she's very young, my husband will need to help her budget the money. And my husband, of course, I tell him the rule that he's not supposed to get anything that's not in the list. And he got used to it. So he's a very good boy. Okay, so those are the things that we need to remember. If you follow these things, I did not make them up. These are based on experts. These are based on people with experiences on how to manage their money. If you follow these things, or if not all of it, but most part of it, you'll definitely save a lot of money in your grocery shopping, because one of the biggest item in our budget would always go to food. So you have to have a strategy on how to do your grocery shopping without spending so much. Okay, so that would be our learning and sharing session for today. Hope to see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to visit my website www.dailywinnerscenter.com and all of my other social media accounts. All the information in the description box. Bye!